Oh. Alright, so I'm gonna play some mahjong today. Haven't played in maybe like 4 months. Probably will forget a bunch of stuff, but we'll learn. So this is Mahjong Soul. This is a tutorial. I'm gonna go through it, hopefully explain how stuff works. How's the audio, by the way? I don't know if the in-game audio is too loud or not loud enough. Just let me know. Alright, so she's gonna explain how to play Mahjong. So the way Mahjong works is you're supposed to try to make a complete hand, and so each round you get a bunch of tiles. You have to draw one and then discard one. The goal is to have a complete hand, which consists of a bunch of either sequences or triplets, and then you have like one pair at the end. So she's explaining, you know, these are the different types of tiles. You have 3 types of like numbered tiles. So for example, a valid sequence would be like 1, 2, 3, or like 4, 5, 6. Has to be within the same set of tiles. And then you have some special tiles like the wind tiles and dragon tiles. These are for like if you want to make, you know, a fast hand, you might want to, you know, get 3 different dragon tiles, which completes a valid hand, and then those are called yaku, which I guess she might explain later. There's some more complicated hands like that don't exactly fit into the, you know, triplets and pairs thing. Like there's hands like 7 pairs and 13 orphans or more complicated stuff like that, but we don't have to worry about that for now. Yeah, each player has 13 tiles. Every turn you draw a tile, and then you discard one. So I guess this is an example of a hand. You can see she has like 2, 3, 4, which is a valid sequence, and then she just has a bunch of other like tiles that don't really match. Yeah, there's sequences, triplets, and pairs. A pair is made of 2 tiles, so in most winning hands you'll have 2 tiles on their own that are a pair, because you need 14 tiles at the end. And then triplets is just, you know, one of each the sequences. There's some like special looking tiles, like you see the one's red. Those we don't have to talk about those now, but I guess those are worth more points if you have that in your winning hand. I think they're Dora tiles. Red Dora tiles. Yeah, usually your hand consists of 4 sequences, and this is Riichi Mahjong, by the way, which is different from, you know, there's Chinese Mahjong, American Mahjong, and so in this one, she's sort of explaining the same thing I said. You have like 4 sequences or pairs, or 4 sequences and triplets, and then 1 pair at the end. And since each turn you're like drawing 1 tile and discarding 1, when it's not your turn, you'll have, you know, one less tile than you need to win. So the goal is to, if you're 1 tile away from winning, it's called tenpai, which means you can win on either your next draw, or if someone discards a tile that you need to win, you can claim it, and then you just win at the end. And if no one wins, if no one has like a winning hand by the end, anyone who's in tenpai gets like the points. This might sound complicated. I guess we'll go through an example later. So okay, there's a quiz. Which tiles does the hand need for winning? So let's look at what tiles this has. So there's a pair right here, the 2. 4, 5, 6, which is the sequence. 3, 4. So this is an incomplete sequence, and you'll need either a 2 or a 5 to complete this one. 1, 2, 3 is a valid sequence. 5, 6, 7 is a valid sequence. So for this, you need a 2 or a 5. So this would be the answer. Yeah. Alright, so for this hand, 1, 2, 3 is a sequence, 4, 5, 6 is a sequence, 7, 8, 9 is a sequence, and then she has 3, a triplet. And so the only thing that's left is the pair. So... Wait, no. Sorry. So there's multiple ways of seeing this. You can either see this as a triplet, or you can see it as a pair and the 1, 2 as an incomplete sequence. So in this case, the 3 completes a sequence, and then these 2 form the pair. So sometimes part of it, you'll have to, in the middle of the match, you have to figure out, which of your tiles make up which part of the winning, the thing you need to win. So in this case, it would be this 3. Okay, so now she's going to talk about Yaku. A Yaku is sort of like a win condition. So there's certain hands that have, different types of value to them. A Yaku is sort of like a prerequisite that you need to win. So in some cases, you might explain this later, but in Riichi Mahjong, Riichi is if you don't do any calls. I guess she hasn't talked about calls yet, but there's different ways to get Yaku. The easiest one I think is to call Riichi, which is when you have, if you're in Tenpai, which is 1 away from winning, and you haven't called tiles from another player, that's a valid Yaku. There's other Yaku such as like all simples, which she might explain later. So yeah, I guess she's going to show us some easy Yaku. The pretty simple one is to get a triplet of either the dragon tiles or the wind tiles. Gonna talk about, I guess we'll talk about the round later, but in most cases in Mahjong, you'll start, you have the East round, which is like every player becomes a dealer at least once. So in most cases, the East, if you have 3 East tiles, that's a valid Yaku. And each round you rotate, so if you're like the West player in one round, the next time you'll be, I forget which way it goes, but you might be the South player. So whichever seat indicator that you're on is, if you have a triplet of that, that's a valid hand. And any 3 dragon tiles are valid. Yeah, so this one is called All Simples, called Tanyao, or All Simps. Basically, you just want to have no terminal tiles. So like any of the 1s or 9s you don't want to have, or any of the winds or any of the dragons. So in this case, this is a valid hand because all these tiles form a valid sequence or triplet, and none of them are one of these non-simple tiles. Yeah, and Riichi is, explained this earlier, it's sort of you have a valid hand without drawing any of the, or without taking any of the pieces from your opponents. So yeah, so she hasn't explained Chi or Pawn or Kan yet, but basically if you have a sequence, for example, you have a 4-5 and you don't have the 6. And then the player to your left, if they discard a 6 or a 3, you can call Chi to like complete the sequence. So it'll complete the 3-4-5 or the 4-5-6. And also if, for example, you have the two tiles as a pair, if any of your opponents discards a 2, you can call Pawn, which means you'll complete this triplet, and then basically it'll be displayed on the board like this. One of the tiles is turned sideways to show which player you took it from. And that's called like an open hand. If you call a tile, your hand becomes open and you're not allowed to declare Riichi, which is one of the simple Yaku. Yeah. So which of these sequences is a Yaku? So we'll see that we're on the East round, East 1, and we're also the East player. So you can see if you have 3 Easts, that's a valid Yaku. These are not valid because of our current seat. If we were in the south position, this would be valid, or if we were in the west, this would be valid. So this one's the answer. So which tile should you discard if you want to achieve Tanyao? Tanyao is the all simples. So if you can remember, all simples excludes the terminal tiles. So you can't have a 1 or 9 of anything or any of the honor tiles. So to get Tanyao, you would have to discard this one. I guess she's going to explain the game interface. Yeah, so East 1 is your current round. If you're the dealer, you get extra points if you win, or if someone else wins, you lose more points. So each round, the person in the win rotates. I guess I should just read what she's saying. She'll probably cover it. Yeah, there's a number of tiles remaining. If you run out of tiles, like no one has a winning hand by the time there's no tiles left, the game ends, and whoever is in Tenpai will get the points. So each turn you discard a tile, you put it in, right in front of you. And then whenever you draw a tile, it shows up on the right side over here. You can either choose to discard that one or one of your other tiles. There's also the timer here, which tells you how much time you have left. In most rounds, you'll have like 10 seconds plus some buffer. I'm gonna set it to like 300 seconds later, just so I can explain stuff. And yeah, if the player on your left discards a tile that you can use to complete a sequence, you can call Chi. So in this example, they discarded a 7, and you have a 6. That's an 8, 6 and 8. So you'll complete the 6, 7, 8. You can call Chi. Likewise, if you have 2 pairs or 2 tiles in a pair, and anyone discards the third tile, you can call Pawn on it to complete the triplet. There's also a con. If you already have 3 of a certain tile, you can call con and it'll form a valid thing. Whether or not you want to do that kind of depends on the situation. Yeah, this is one of those games that's kind of easier to understand through playing it. It is kind of a lot of rules to understand at the beginning. So if the previous player discards a 6, it's a valid sequence to form 4, 5, 6, so you can call it Chi if you have this. And Pawn, as you remember, is a triplet, so if you have 2 of these and someone discards the west, you can call Pawn on it. And then she just stuff. Play private room. So this is Mahjong Soul. You can do a friendly match. And so the way I practice is you just versus AI, and set the time to be really high. We choose some advanced settings. I think we'll just keep it like this. And hopefully I remember how to actually play, because I have not played in a long time. Yeah, this game is like extremely gacha. You can roll for characters. This is one you get for free from an event. Alright, so this is my starting hand. I set the timer really high so I can talk through. I probably will not remember a lot of the strategy that I had. Yeah, it's the gacha is only for aesthetics, so you get different characters and you have different skins for for your hand and stuff. It's all aesthetics, so it doesn't actually change the gameplay at all. So anyway, looking at this hand, I can see I have a West tile, which is kind of useless to me, since I'm not the West player, and it's not the West round. So I'm inclined to just discard this, which I will do. Alright, so there's a 9 that I could pawn. I don't know if this is a valid Yaku that I have, so I'm just gonna skip. So now I have a 7. So if I look at what my hand currently is, I have a 7. I have 2 6s and a 7, and 2 7s. So I could look at this as a 6-7, part of a incomplete sequence, and another 6-7. Or I could try to go for the 7 pairs. Like I have 2 of these, I have 2 7s, 2 9s. I could try to get a 7 pairs with these. But that seems unlikely based on what I currently have. I might just discard this 1 because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like it's kind of hard to make a sequence of just this 1 by itself. Like if I have a 4, I could draw a 3 or a 5 to try to, you know, nearly complete a sequence. I have a 7 and 9, and I could possibly draw an 8, which would complete the sequence. Or I could draw a 3 to try to complete this sequence. The 5, I don't know, it's kind of in the middle, so I could draw a 6 or a 7, or a 4 or a 6, which could make this almost a sequence. And then this white dragon tile, I could just keep it and hope I draw another one. And then if someone else discards a white dragon, I could call pawn on it, which is a valid hand. I'm gonna discard this 1 because it's kind of floating. And by the way, I'm not a really good mahjong player, so like some of the strategies I'm using might be actually kind of awful, but this is just an example. Yeah. So I drew a 3. It's sort of in the middle of nowhere. Like I could maybe draw a 2 or a 4. Maybe sort of complete this, but just gonna discard it. Alright, so this player discarded an 8. I could call a chi on it to complete the 7, 8, 9. But I kind of don't really have a valid Yaku for it. Remember, if I open if I call this, my hand will be open. Still have a 7, 8, 9, but I don't really have a valid Yaku that will let me win. Like an easy way to do it is like try to get all simples, but since I have this 9, if I call it, it's gonna make me ineligible for the all simples Yaku, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna skip. And so I drew a 6 here. I could have a 6 and 7, which means I could draw an 8 or a 5 to complete the sequence. So 5, 6, 7. Or 6, 7, 8. But so what I'm gonna discard this white dragon, because what I can see is like this player on my right just discarded the white dragon, which means there's only 2 other white dragon tiles left. It's unlikely that I'll draw into another one. I'm just gonna discard this because it's unlikely for me to get a pawn on this to get a triplet. I'm just gonna discard it. They discard another 8. Again, I'm not gonna do it because I won't have a valid Yaku. I drew a 6. This means if I draw a 4 or a 7, I'll complete this triplet. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, you can. This game also has like a list of Yaku you can check. game. Usually you probably won't do this like in the middle of a round because you don't have that much time. So you can see these are the valid hands you could do. There's a bunch of them. You can like attempt to memorize them, but you kind of just play a bunch and then you kind of like, you know, learn to recognize some of the patterns. So anyway, I'm going to discard this 9 because it's kind of redundant. If I have a 6 and 7, if I draw an 8, it'll complete the sequence. If I draw an 8 here, it'll complete the sequence. I don't really need the 9 for it. So I'm just gonna discard this one because if I draw an 8, it's kind of, you know, I don't really need. Maybe someone else has a better idea, but this is what my thought process is. Alright, so I drew another 6. Trying to decide if I want to keep it. I could discard this 4 because it's kind of unnecessary. If I draw a 5, it'll complete this sequence and it'll be redundant for this 4. It's kind of hard to say. I haven't played this in a while, so I don't know what the best move is. I think I'll just discard this one for now. Or I could discard these. This is what's called a one-sided weight, which means the only thing that completes this sequence is a 3. What you usually want is two-sided weights. So for example, you have a 5, 6. If you draw either a 4 or a 7, that'll complete the weight. But in this case, you only have one tile that you can use, which makes the 1 and 2 not as good. So if you have the choice of discarding like two-sided weight or a one-sided weight, you prefer to keep the two-sided weight because it's more open. I don't know what I'm going to do here. Let me got it. Because the good thing about keeping the 2 6s is that you could possibly like draw another 6 and this could be a triplet. Whereas this one, you can only complete it with a 3. I think I might just discard this 4. I don't know if that's the best plan, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. And again, I'm not gonna do Chi because I don't have a valid Yaku. So north tile is useless because I'm not in the north. And this is not north round. And I see this player also discarded a north, which means there's only 2 of them left. I'm just going to discard it. Alright, so this player just declared Richi, which means that they're 1 tile away from winning. So this is when things start getting kind of dangerous, because you can try to look at their tiles to see what they've discarded to try to guess what hand they plan on winning on. I'm not going to do that now, but basically if someone discards the tile that they need to win, they can call what's called a ron, which means they'll win off your hand and they'll steal your points. And since I'm the dealer, if this player wins based on something I discarded, I lose more points than I would if I was, you know, any other position on the board. Alright, so just do this 4, which is kind of useless. I will discard it. I got another 1. I don't know if this is really that useful. I could try to go for 7 pairs. They have these 2 6s, 2 1s, 2 9s, 2 7s, 2 6s. Maybe. Sure, why not? I don't know if that's the best idea, maybe not. So yeah, so this card is definitely safe to discard because, oh yeah, the nice thing about Mahjong Soul is that when you hover over a tile, it highlights all the other tiles of the same kind in the discard pile. You can see like there's no green dragons left, which means there's no way someone else could win off this. So it's really safe to discard. So the white dragon is also pretty safe because there's two of them that are already on the board that have been discarded. And there's only one left. It's unlikely that anyone's gonna win with this white dragon. Alright, so this, I just drew a 6, which means I'm in Tenpai, which means the thing I need left to win is I need one tile left to win if I discard one of these. So if I click Ricci, I can see what the valid discards are. So if I discard this 5, the nice thing about Mahjong Soul, it'll tell you what tile you need to win. So I drew a 6, it means I have all these valid pairs, and it'll tell you how many are left. So it's better to discard this 7 in this case because there's more 5 tiles left. You can see like no one has discarded a 5 of bamboo. Whereas if I were to discard this, I would need a 7 of characters to win. You can see like this player has already discarded one. I'm going to discard this one. And hopefully it's not the tile that the player on the right needs to win. Well, it can't be because this player just discarded it, so I'm going to discard this. And once you're in Ricci, oh nice, I just win. But basically, if you're in Ricci, you're not allowed to discard any tiles other than the one you just drew. So Ricci is sort of like a lock-in. You're sort of saying like, I'm one tile away from winning, and you know this is the hand I'm gonna go with. If you win like immediately after you declare Ricci, like as in I just called Ricci and this player just discarded the tile I needed to win. If I call run, I get extra points for it because there's like a special Yaku called forget what it is, but whatever it is that lets you, you know. Oh, there's a double run. So this is so both of us had a winning hand based on this player's discard, which means this unlucky player just has their points completely decimated. Yeah, so you'll see this screen, it'll tell you, well, I wish it would stay on that screen for a while, but it tells you like what Yaku you had, and how it determined your score. Yeah, Ipatsu. Ipatsu is the name of the if you declare Ricci and win like right afterwards. And drink some water. Okay, so for this hand, since I'm not the South player, I should probably discard this because it's kind of useless to me. I will do that. And you can see the round number is still East 1. So since I'm the dealer, if the dealer wins, their round continues. So I get to continue being the dealer. Alright, so I'm going to discard this because I don't need it. Yeah, for negative points, if a player ever goes into negatives, they lose immediately. The game is over. Alright, so this player started a 5. I could call pawn, which might be a good idea. Because you see this 5 is shiny, which means it's worth more points. I could try to go for an all simples with this. Try to discard this 9 and these 2. Or if I draw another green dragon or a red dragon, I could try to, you know, have that as a valid Yaku. I think I will pawn this, because sure, why not? I'm gonna discard this 9 because if I'm going for all simples, that would be the good one to discard. I would also need to discard this 1. I think it might be better to discard this one, because if I draw a 2, I could complete these 2, and this one's kind of redundant, because it'd be a 1 and 3. I'll discard this one. So I drew a 6. If I'm gonna go for all simples, I guess this 6 could pair with this 8. I could get a 6, 7, 8 to complete this. And then which would make this 9 redundant. So I could discard this one. White dragon. I think I'll discard this one because it's one player has already discarded it, so it's kind of unlikely for me to get a win from this one. To either draw 2 of them or draw 1 and on the other one, so I'm going to discard this one. Alright, so I drew an 8, which is good because it means now I have my pair. Like, remember, for a valid hand, usually you'll need 4 triplets or 4 triplets or sequences, and then 1 pair. So since I drew this 8, this could be my pair in the end. I think I will discard. Maybe I'll discard this 8. Alright, so I drew a 6, which could pair with this 5. I could draw a 4, 5, 6, or a 5, 6, 7 to make this valid. I might want to think about discarding these. I don't know how likely it's going to be for me to draw one of them. Or I could just discard this 3 since it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I think I'll do that, maybe. Alright, so 9. If I'm going for either like the dragons or all simples, this isn't gonna work for me, so I'm gonna discard this one. North tile is kind of useless for me. I'm gonna discard this. Alright, so I drew a 4, which means I have the valid 4, 5, 6 sequence. So with these 5 triplets and this 4, 5, 6, it means I have two of the things I need to win. I'm gonna consider discarding this red dragon because I can see this player in the top of the screen has already discarded a red dragon, and so it's unlikely for me to draw one or one and discard this one. Alright, 7. I drew a 7, which means I have a 4, 5, 6, 7. This isn't you'll see there are 4 tiles, but you could think of this sort of as like you have a 4, 5 and a 6, 7, which means you could either draw another 5 to complete the 6, 7, or you could draw an 8, or you could draw a 3 or another 6 to complete this. So usually if you have like sequences of 4 in a row, like sometimes you might just think to discard one of them because it's redundant, but if you think of it as it being 2 sequences or 2 incomplete sequences, it's actually kind of better. I'm going to discard this green dragon just to keep this this nice pattern. Okay, so that player just pawned the green dragons, which means they now have a valid Yaku that they could win off of. So I just drew this 5 of circles, which means, like what I was just talking about earlier, I completed this 5, 6, 7, and now I have a 4, 5. So I could discard this 6 or an 8, since this is a single tile away. I'm waiting for the 7 here. Whereas my only other incomplete ones are 4, 5, which I can complete with another 6 or a 3. or I could draw a 2 or a 5 to complete this one. This one's kind of harder to complete because I need exactly a 7. So I will discard this one. So let's see, if this player discarded a 3, I could chi it to complete this 3, 4, 5, which is pretty good. And then I'll have this 5, 6, 7. Since I'm going for all symbols, it's valid to do it. And I think I will. And I'll discard this 6, which means the only thing I need left is a 2 or a 5 to win. Like, I'm not a great player. I don't exactly pay that much attention to what other players are discarding to know what's safe. But yeah, I'll call Chi on this. And then I'll discard the 6. And so Mahjong Soul tells me that I need either 2 or 5 to win. And then it tells me how many of each tile are left. So if I discard this, I'm in a pretty good position, I think. Yeah, but you can see the player on my right discarded a lot of bamboo tiles, which indicates that maybe it's safe to discard them. So I'm just going to discard this since I don't need it. The 7, I don't want to call Chi on because I already have this complete 5, 6, 7. Skip. I'm going to discard this because I don't need it. Alright, so this player just played the 2 of characters, which is the tile that I needed to win. It completes this 2, 3, 4 sequence. And then, yeah. Got him. Yeah, so I had all simples, and the 2 red tiles I had gave me more points. How did I just win? I don't know. Did I choose? Oh, I think this AI thing just goes for 1 round, maybe. Usually it'll go to the next player. I don't know why this one just ended. Maybe it's just when you play against AI, it's like 1 round. But yeah, that was an example. Maybe it wasn't as great as it could have been, but hopefully makes sense. I can play another round to do it again. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Hold on. If you make a room with no players, you could just fill it with AI, and I think it's like more similar to a real match. It'll go like the whole rotation, like everyone gets a chance at being the dealer. Do you see there's East round and there's like the 2-win match, which I think goes to South. That changes the tile that's valid for Yaku, so when you start off in the East round, if you get a triplet of East tiles, that's a valid Yaku. But if you're in the South round, you'll need the South tiles. Gonna make this room. And just play another example match. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense if you play it yourself. I recommend just, Mahjong Soul is a browser game, by the way. You could just, sign up for an account and open it in your browser. You don't have to download an app for it. And then you just play against the AI, and it's pretty nice. I think it's pretty beginner friendly. Okay, so in this one, think I'm gonna discard the north tile because, you know, I'm not the north player, I'm the south player, and this tile is kind of meaningless to me. There are certain cases where you might want to keep it. Like for example, if this makes up your pair, or you have like another valid Yaku. But currently I don't see that, so I will just discard this one. You see, these two players discarded the north tiles anyway, so it's kind of useless. Like there's no way you could win with the north tile unless you get 13 Orphans hand or something. I used to mostly play this on iPad. Like it's pretty nice to just. Alright, so I drew a 4. I can see that I have a 3 and 4, which could complete a sequence. It is kind of redundant with this 1, but this 1 is shiny, which means it's worth more points. So I might want to keep it. I don't know. Like this 1 or this 9 is kind of in the middle of nowhere. I might consider discarding this 9. Because to complete this 9, I will need either a 7, like I'll need 7, 8, 9, or I'll need 3 9s. But if I have a 7, 8, 9, that sort of overlaps with the 6 tile, because I'll need a 6, 7, 8, or a, you know, some other number that's similar to that. So I might want to discard this 9. I might also want to discard this 1, because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I'll just discard this 9 for now. Alright, so I drew a 5, which could be used to complete this 6. I could draw like a 4, 5, 6, or a 5, 6, 7. I think I will discard this 1, because it's just floating. So I drew a 4. Might discard this red dragon because the player on my left just discarded 1, which means it's unlikely for me to get a triplet of red dragon. So I will do that. Okay, so I have 2 of these 1 tiles. This could become the pair that I need in the end. I could have 2 1s and then everything else be my sequences and triplets. So I have to decide what I want to discard. This 4 is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I could draw a 5 or a 3, which could make this better. This 6 is kind of redundant. Well, this 2 is also kind of in the middle of nowhere. If you're given a choice between, like, if you have 2 tiles that are kind of in the middle of nowhere that you don't have, you know, adjacent tiles to, you might want to discard the one that's closer to the edge, like this 2, because the only valid sequence you could complete with this is a 1, 2, 3 or a 2, 3, 4. So if you draw a 1, you're sort of forced to wait for the 3 tile for this. Whereas for this, you could draw a 3 or a 5, which could mean, you know, 3, 4, 5, or 4, 5, 6. So it may be better to just discard this 2. Which I think I will do. Alright, so the white dragon, I don't think I want to keep it because the player on my right has already discarded 1. There are some times when maybe you want to keep it. If it's like late in the game and you sort of like one of the players, you can sense that they're close to winning. You know that this is a safe tile, which means you discard it. There's no way that someone else is going to win off it. There's like some advanced defense strategies, but for now I'm just going to discard it since it's kind of early. Okay, so I drew a 6. which means this could be a complete triplet, either 3 6s, or I could look at this as a 5-6 as a incomplete sequence, and then the 2 6s as a pair. I could, maybe try to get another one to complete this as a triplet, and then have the 6 be my pair, and then hope that I draw either a 5 or a 7. Or I mean a 4 or a 7. But I mean, this 6 is kind of redundant because to complete, I'll need like either a 5 to complete this, 4, 5, 6. I think I will discard. Maybe I'll discard this 4. I don't know. Maybe not the best idea, but sure, why not? Like, one thing you could do is like, even though this is sort of like almost a complete sequence, you might consider discarding like either the 8, like the 9s, and then hope that you draw something closer to the 4. Since the only way to complete this is to draw 7, which is sometimes kind of unlikely. So the east tile, I think I'll discard this one because player at the top of the screen already discarded one. Alright, so maybe that was not a great idea because now I just drew another east. If I had kept the east in my previous draw, I would have had 2 easts, which means I could call a pawn. If like another player discards another east, I could pawn it, and then this could become my Yaku. I could get 3 east tiles as a triplet. But now it's too late for that because I just discarded it. The green dragon, I'll just discard this because player at the top already discarded one, so there's only 2 of them left. Okay, so this player discarded a 6, which means I could call Khan. Khan is like, if you have 4 tiles of the same number or whatever, you can call Khan, and then it'll flip over one of the tiles in the top left. It'll reveal another, like, one of these tiles. They're called Dora tiles. But I don't really see a reason to do that right now. Because it also opens your hand the same way as if you call a pawn or a chi. So I will skip it. Alright, so great, I drew a 7, which means I've completed this 7, 8, 9 sequence. So the hand that I have now is 7, 8, 9. I have either these 3 6s and a 5, or I can think of it as this being the pair and this being an incomplete sequence. I think I'm gonna discard this 6 because I could draw 5 and it'll complete this, which would make this kind of redundant. Sure, let's do. Alright, so 7, do I want to call Chi on that? Don't think so, because I have these 9s and these 1s, which means this is not an all simples hand. And I don't think there's a valid Yaku I could do with it. So I will skip. The south tile is useless because all the other players have discarded 3 of them. So there's no way to complete a valid triplet with this. Even though I'm the South player, which means this would be a valid Yaku if I got 3 of them, but there's no way for me to get 3 of them now. I could call a pawn on that. It would be worth a lot, but I would need to have a valid Yaku to win from it. So let's check the list of valid Yaku. Because I haven't played this in a while and I don't remember most of them. I kind of wish this menu took up less space so I could see what my tiles are. But I don't think there's an easy Yaku I could get if I were to call pawn on that one. And these by the way they're sorted based on Han, which is sort of like the more Han it is, the more points you get if you win with it. So you'll see like 1 Han is like the simplest hand. They're usually pretty easy to achieve. You'll have more complicated ones that have more complicated conditions. So some of them require your hand to be... Some of them require your hand to be like closed, which means you can't call pawn or chi on anything. Oh yeah, all triplets is a valid one if I were to do that. But do I want to do that? Probably not. I would have these two as a triplet, I would have this as a triplet, but everything else is a sequence, which would make it kind of hard to get. So I don't know, I think I will skip. North tile is useless. Okay, so one is useless because it's just floating. Seven. Again, I don't think I want to call chi on it because I don't think I'll have a valid Yaku since I have the 9s. And the 1s. It won't be all simples. White's dragon is kind of useless. Alright, so she's in Ricci, which means she could win by 1 tile. So you kind of have to be careful if someone's in Ricci. Alright, so 7, which means I drew... This could complete this 5, 6, 7 sequence. And then I'll have these 2 6s as a pair. It's impossible to make a triplet with these now, since I see that the other 2 of them have been discarded. So I think this will have to be my my pair, I think. Or I could discard them. But maybe I don't want to do that because they're worth a lot. So let me just see what I have in my hand. I have a 7, 8, 9 as a valid sequence. 5, 6, 7 as another one. These 2 6s... It's impossible for me to make a triplet from these 2 6s because the player at the top has already discarded one, which means they're all accounted for. So... see, is there another way that I could use this 7? I might want to either discard these 6s or these 2. Yeah, there's a lot to think about, and the fact that like I set the timer to 300 seconds. Normally you'd have to like think through this stuff in 10 seconds or 15. But I think, you know, you get used to it. I haven't played it in 4 months, so it's taking me longer to think than I would normally. It's 5, 6. I think I will discard these 6s. Another thing to think about is like the fact that the round is almost over. In the middle, you can see that there's only 8 tiles left. So if I see that I'm unlikely to win within the next few turns, I might just try to get Tenpai, even though I don't have a valid Yaku, just so that I could get points. I think maybe I will do that. Well, I don't know. It's unlikely that I'll be able to win within the next few rounds because I need to complete this sequence or this one, and then I have these random tiles left over. Just gonna just do whatever. I don't know. I also forgot the player in my north is in Ricci. Yeah, this west is useless. We'll discard it. This one is also useless. And the good thing with this is you can see the player in my north discarded 1s, which means this is a safe tile. It's impossible for them to win on this because they've already discarded it. So this. And so only the player in the north is in Tenpai, so they'll get all the points for this. No one had a winning hand, so this player was the closest one to winning, so they get all the points. All right, new hand. This one's kind of promising. I have 2 white dragon tiles, which means if anyone discards a white dragon, I'll have a valid Yaku with these triplets. So immediately I could see like the south and north tile are kind of useless. Because I'm not the south player or the north player. I think I'll discard the north. So when you have a situation like this, you might want to consider like discarding the tile of the player that's like closest to you, like on the left. Like if you discard this north tile, and the player on your left actually has 2 north tiles that they could call pawn on, it'll be their turn again. But then since it goes counterclockwise, if they do pawn off this, you'll be able to go again immediately. Whereas if you were to discard the south tile, and the south player had two south tiles that they could pawn on, it'll sort of like skip your turn. I'll discard this north tile. I actually don't know poker, but maybe I've heard people compare mahjong with like Rummy. I guess that's a card game that I've never played either. Alright, so I drew a 1. I'm just gonna keep it and discard the south tile since the south tile is useless to me. Alright, so this player discarded the white dragon, which is what I need to complete the sequence. I'll call pawn on it. So now this is a pretty fast hand. I could, since I already have a valid Yaku, I could do a bunch of calls to win pretty quickly. So I want to see which of these tiles is like the most useless to me. Maybe this one, because I'll need like a 2 or 3, or 2 and 3 to complete the sequence. I will discard it. Okay, so 3, which means I completed this 3, 4, 5 sequence. I could draw either a 6 or a 9 to complete this one. I could draw 2 to complete this. This 8 and this 8 are kind of floating. But maybe I could like draw a 7. And this could be like a 7, 8, 9, or a 6, 7, 8. I see the player at the top has discarded a red dragon, so I might consider discarding this one, since it's less likely for me to pawn another one. So I will do that. Alright, well that just sucks. I could have kept it and then this is like the second game in a row this has happened. But yeah, if I'd kept the red dragon, I could have maybe had a third one. Alright, so I drew a 9, which means I could complete the 7, 8, 9, maybe. So at the moment, I think this 8 is kind of useless. So I will start it. Okay, so 5. So it's kind of nice to have this sort of shape that's like 1, 3, 5. You could either draw a 2 to complete this, or you could draw 4 to complete the 3, 4, 5. It's called a two-sided weight, but with 3 tiles. Let's see, what do I want to discard? So I guess this 1 tile is kind of redundant. Since if I draw a 2, it'll complete the 1, 2, 3, but I'll have this 4, 5 still sitting around, which I'll need to draw 6 or another 3, 4. And then the 6 will overlap with this one, which makes it kind of not great. I think I will just discard this tile. Right, 2, which means... Well, I mean, if I'd kept that 1, I would have completed the 1, 2, 3. And then this would have been pretty nice. But, let's see, what do I want to keep? 3, 4, 5... I think... Maybe I'll discard this one? I don't know. So what I'm waiting on is a 7 to complete this. And then I could draw a 2 or a 4 to complete this one. And then... Does the 2 really give me any? 2, 3, 4... Maybe not. No, I don't think the 2 really helps that much, because I already discarded the 1, which means I can't win off it unless I draw another one. So maybe there's a better way to do this, but I'm just gonna discard this 2. Just to avoid having to think. Alright, 4, this is kind of useless because I don't have any other 4 of characters. I'm gonna discard it. Alright, so I drew another 2. Just gonna... So, discard it again. Wait, I do need a pair. I just realized I don't have a pair in my hand yet. If I had kept that 2, I guess that could have been my pair. Well, it's too late for that. Okay, so that's a 5. If I were to chi, I would 3, 4, 5. But then I'd have this 5 left over. I mean, I already have this sequence completed, so I don't know if I would need to do that. Like, this 5 laying by itself wouldn't really do anything. So I will skip. Alright, 8. I guess this is good. I have a pair now. I have these 2 8s that I could use to form a pair. And then I could discard this 9. I guess I'll do that. So now what I'm waiting for is a 6 or a 9 to complete this one. Or I could have a 2 or a 4 to complete this. I'm gonna discard the west because it's useless. Alright, so I have like pretty bad luck, I guess. I drew another 2, which could have completed pretty good triplet. Okay, 3. 3 is useless because I don't have any characters. North is also useless, and there's already 3 of them that have been discarded, so it's also pretty safe. One, no, discard it. East tile, don't need it. Alright, so let's see, I have a 7, 8, 9 completed. I could discard this 1, and then hope that I get a 4 to win. I might do that because this shiny tile is worth more, but... Because if you look at my hand, I'll have this 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5 is another sequence. I have my pair. And then I'm just waiting for one of these. Yeah, I guess I'll do this. There's no reason for me to call Chi, because I already have this completed sequence. So I will skip. Alright, so this 5 is... might want to keep this, because... shiny. Let's see, do I have any other... valid... No. So I'll discard this non-shiny 5. Just to keep the one that's worth more. Yeah, so I'm in Tenpai, and so is the player at the top. Which means, since no one else had a winning hand, we both split the points. Alright, new hand. I think West and North are both kind of useless. I'll discard the North in case the player to my left also has 2 Norths. Yep. Okay, so that's, yeah. So if you I discard the North, the player on the left had 2 Norths. But since I'm immediately after them, I get to go again. So if I were to discard this West instead, if the player at the top, which is West, they would get to go, and then I have to wait 2 turns. But since I discard the North, I got to go again immediately. Alright, so I'm gonna discard the West now because I don't need it. Let's see, 5s. I have to decide if I wanna... If I pawn it, my hand will be open. This 5 is shiny, so it is worth more if I win with it. But I would need to... I think I might do it. I could do an all triplets hand. That's one of the valid Yaku. I don't remember how much it was worth, but... Yeah, triplets. So this can be an open hand. I can see I already have, you know... It might be pretty easy for me to get all triplets, maybe. Since I already have, you know, 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, and 2 of these. Yeah, I guess I'll try it. And then I guess I'll discard this 1 because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I could also maybe try to go for all simples if I discard this 9 and these 2 9s. I think I might want to consider doing. So I have this 5 and this 4, which means I could do a 3, 4, 5 sequence. I think maybe I'll just go for all simples hand and discard my 9. So remember, all simples is you don't have any of the terminal tiles, so you can't have a 1s or 9s or any of the honor tiles. Gonna try go for that, I guess. Nine. I guess if I'm going for all simples, I don't know if I want to go for all simples or if I want to go for all triplets. I think all simples might be easier to achieve, so I will skip that one. Should I? Yeah, I'll skip. So since I'm sort of committed to doing all simples, I'm going to discard these 9s. Alright, 5. Yeah, I mean, it's valid for all simples hand, so I'll do it. I'll discard this 9. I forget the Furi 10 rules. If I discard this 9, does it mean I can't win on a 6? Or is that not how it works? Well, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, alright, well. It's too late. Okay, so I drew a 4. I think I'll probably have this 4-5. Well, since I want to keep the 5, I might, because this could be my pair. But since I can't win on a 6, I wonder if I should discard these. But if someone else, the player on my left discards a 6 before I'm in Tenpai, I could chi those. I don't know. I'll discard this too. Why not? Three. Can't really do anything with this, so discard it. Okay, so the 8s. If I pawn this, it means these 4s will have to be my pair. And then I wouldn't be able to win on a 6. Because I've discarded the 9. Do I want to do this? I don't know. I mean, I could also maybe get all triplets. Yeah. If I were to pawn this, what would I discard? Would I discard the 5? Sanchoku, I forget what that was. Oh, Sanchoku is the... Sanchoku is if I get the 5s from all... Yeah, I think that's what I'm... Discard the 8s. Yeah, I guess I'll try for all triples. Third. Mahjong's hard, guys. And then you get like 10 seconds to think about this. Well, alright. So I guess if I discard one of these, I'm sort of hoping that I get a 5, then pawn the 4s, or hope I get a 7, and then another 7, and I don't need this one. Don't this one. If I'd kept that 2 from earlier, I could have maybe had that be my pair. Four. So I guess it's unlikely for me to get another 7 since there's only one left. You see the player at the top has discarded 2 of them. And I have the 3rd one. So if I'm hoping for this to be my to get a triplet or a pair from this, it's gonna be pretty hard, so I'm gonna discard the 7. This 2 is kind of... I could either discard this 4 or this 2. Since there's another 4 that's already been discarded. Maybe I'll do that. Just hope I draw another 2. Don't need this one. This one. And a lot of times, like, near the end of the match, if you kind of, like, are near having a winning hand, you can kind of just, Well, okay, so for this hand, I could do all simples. If I chi the 3, I'll have a 3, 4, 5. And then I could discard the 4 and hope I draw 2. Guess I'll do that. Sure. So it would be better for me to discard the 4 in this case because there's more 2s left. And so it kind of sucks to be in this position where, like, you only have 1 tile left in your hand, and, like, it means there's only one possible thing you can win on. And it's pretty easy for, like, I guess for your opponents to read what you're going for. Since my hand is really open, they can see that, like, all these tiles that I've called are all simples. So they'll be like, this guy's probably going for an all simples hand. So they'll know that, like, the 1 or 9 is probably safe to discard, and also the honor tiles. Discard the 7. All right, so no one was tenpai except me, so I get all the points. Pretty good. And since I was dealer, I get to go again at dealer. Okay, let's see. So these 2 are pretty nice to have. If I draw another green dragon or another east, I could pawn. I think right now this 1 is kind of the most useless tile. I would need either 2 more 1s or like a 2-3 to complete a sequence with this. So I'll discard this one. South tile is pretty useless, especially since the player on my left just discarded one. Alright, so nice. I have two east tiles, which if another player discards east, that's a valid Yaku, and I could build a pretty fast hand. So what do I want to discard for this? Well, let's check what my hand has. I have 2-3, which could be completed with a 1 or a 4. And then I have a 5-6-7, which is valid. Or I could have a 7-8-9. There's also there's a hand called I think a straight. Or if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all in a suit, that's a valid Yaku. But I would need to draw 1 and 4 and an 8 for that, which maybe is kind of unlikely. I might want to discard the 9. Kind of hanging. Yeah, sure. Because I could complete the 2, get a 2 to complete this, or a 7 to complete this. If I draw an 8, it's kind of redundant, so yeah. Or I could discard this green dragon, assuming that I won't get another one. I'll just discard the 9 for now. Alright, so 5, that's pretty nice. This is a almost completed sequence. I could draw a 4 or a 7. And it's shiny. I guess I'll discard the green dragon. Because it's kind of by itself. I also still need a pair. Unless this is gonna be my pair, I guess it could be. If no one else discards an east tile, this could be my pair. Just gonna discard this, I guess. Alright, do I want to call Chi on that? If I call Chi on that, I'm sort of hoping that someone discards an east tile so I can have a valid Yaku. And I guess that would be a pretty fast hand. My hand is worth it's pretty good because it has a lot of shiny tiles. But I am really dependent on someone dropping an east. Sure, let's do it. So what I'm waiting for is a 1 or a 4 tile from here. A 2 to complete this, or a 7 to complete this. I think I'll discard this because the edge tiles are kind of more useless, I guess. I could draw 5, and this could be a 5-6, then it's more easier to complete. This 1 is kind of not as good by itself, so I guess I'll discard it. Alright, so there's the east tile that I need, which is nice. So this 3 is kind of useless now. I'm either waiting on a... Well, I still need a pair now, so this is kind of hard. I'm just gonna discard this 3 because it's by itself. Alright, so that's really good. I have these 2 6s now, which means I have my pair. So now all I'm waiting on is a 1 or a 4 to complete this sequence, since I already have this sequence completed. And you can see if I highlight over it, the UI tells me those are the tiles that I need to win. So now all I have to do is just wait for someone to discard it, which they did, and I win. Pretty good hand. It's a lot of shinies. Alright, so once again, immediately you can see the north is useless because I'm not north. Alright, so 2. 2 is kind of nice because I have the 2-3. This 1 is kind of by itself, so maybe I don't need it. I think I'll discard the 1. North is useless. Well, I guess it's unlikely for me to get 3 of these green dragons, since the player on my right just discarded 1. And it's also safer to discard 1 of these early, I guess. Especially since the shiny tile, it's sort of worth a lot more and people are gonna want it. If I hold on to this, it's gonna be kind of dangerous, because it's possible that later someone could have 2 green dragons and then I discard this and then, you know, they'll have a really good hand. It's good to discard this early if you can. Okay, 7. Do I want to chi that? I could try for an all simples. So 6, 7, 8. And then discard this 9. And then also get rid of these 2. I don't know if I want to do that. Sure, why not? I guess I'll just do it. I probably should have discarded one of these, since it's safer to do it earlier. Okay, that was pretty fast reachy. So that player's could win very soon. Let's see. 2, 3. I mean, this 7 is kind of floating. And I can see the player on my north, or the top of the screen, discarded a 7 recently, so it's possible that the player that just declared Ricci is not waiting for a 7. So maybe that's a safe tile to discard. And I don't really need it. Yes. Okay, so 2, 3, which means I would need a 4 to complete this. If I'm going for all simples. I guess this. So I guess my weights aren't very good, because if I'm going for all simples, a lot of my weights are kind of like on the edge. Like I would draw a 1 for this one, or I could possibly draw a 9 for this one, which would mess it up. What would I keep in this case? I guess I'll get rid of one of these. Mixed triple sequence. I forget which one that is. Oh, that's if I get 6, 7, 8 in. No, that seems unlikely. Well, I guess I'll aim to have these 3 as my pair, and hope that I don't draw some bad tiles. Alright, 6 doesn't really do anything for me. Alright, so I just got run. Alright, luckily it's like a pretty basic hand, just worth 1,000 points. Pretty much, very much in the lead. Okay, so this time the north tile is actually useful for me, but player has already discarded one of them. I guess the south tile, I don't really need it, so I will discard it. I guess the white tile is pretty safe to discard now, because player on my right just discarded one. Yeah. Okay, so now I have to actually think about what my hand is. I mean, this is pretty nice. I have this completed sequence. I have a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which you could think of as like a 2, 3, 4, and then these two as an incomplete sequence, or a 4, 5, 6 with these two as an incomplete sequence. And I have these 2 3s, which could be my pair. So probably I'll want to discard one of these two. I guess the north, since it's unlikely for me to get a pawn, since that player has already discarded one, so I'll discard this one. Alright, and now they've all discarded their red dragons, which means this one's pretty safe to discard. I might consider discarding this one instead, just to keep this as a safe tile in the future, since I know that no one can win off it unless they have like 13 orphans or something. But yeah, this one is kind of useless by itself. I guess I'll do that. Alright, so let's see. 7. If I chi, it'll be this 5, 6, 7. I could go for an all simples. That actually would be pretty good, because I would need a draw 6 of characters, and then discard this red dragon. I guess I'll do it. Just hope that I don't draw a 9, because that'll there's something called footy 10, which is like if you discard a tile that you could have won with, like you can't win with the tile anymore unless you draw it yourself. Alright, so that 2 is useless. I don't really need it. I already have this complete sequence. Oh wait, I'm in Furry 10. How did that happen? Oh, because it's 6. Wait, what? What did I just do? Oh, did I? Oh, because that player discarded a 6. Am I screwed? Oh, temporary Furry 10. Wait, is it impossible for me to win now? So if I call Chi on the 6, then it'll be... Or do I have to skip on this and hope I get another... If I call Chi, I have to break up something. So I have to wait for another 6. Well, now, well, this sucks. So since I drew a 9, and if I was going for all simples, so I kind of have to get rid of this entire 6, 7, 8, because I can't win on it anymore. This is like somewhat advanced. Like you don't run into Furry 10 that often. Well, I mean, maybe. If I drop 3, I could go for a different pair. Yeah, but I'm going for... Then what is my Yaku? I'm going for... If I was going for... all simples... Well, I don't know. I'll just... I have to get rid of the 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, this is okay, I guess. If I discard the 7, I could win on either the 3s, like I could get a triples of 3s or a triple of 8s. So that's convenient. Fortunately, I have to get rid of this shiny tile. Well, if I had kept it, and I had this 8, nah. 4, I don't need that. Hey! Got him. I'm just destroying these easy AIs. Alright, so this is the last round, East 4. Alright, let's see. 2... So I have 1, 2, 3 as a complete sequence. I guess this 9 is kind of by itself. That would probably be the best thing to discard. I mean, I'm basically declared, like, I'm not declared, like, basically, there's not really much of a chance that the other players could come back from this. Like, I'm probably still going to be first place, based on how far ahead I am. I could discard this 8 or this 2. Well, no, I have the 2 could be my pair. This extra 3, I don't know what I could really do with it. Because I have this as a sequence. I guess I'll discard the 8s. I mean, also keep in mind, like, I'm playing on, like, against easy AI and, like, with a really generous, like, time limit. Like, a lot of these plays that I've made, I probably would not be able to think of them within, like, 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah, the AI could get double Yakuman, which would destroy everything. Okay, so if I keep this 5, I could pair the, hopefully get like a 4, so I get a 3, 4, 5. I think I'll do that. Let's get rid of this green dragon. And I don't really mind if the AI on my right side wins this round, because it'll mean round's over and I'm gonna be in first place. 2. Do I want that? Not really. Okay, so 6. I guess I could keep the 6 and then discard the 9, because to complete this sequence, I'll need a 7. But if I have the 6, I also need a 7. So I guess it's like better to keep the 6, 7, 8. Since I could draw a 5, which could be better for this. Guess I'll discard the 9. And there'll be a lot of times where you just like draw a bunch of tiles you don't need, like right after each other. Let's see, the 5. I could go for an all simples if I discard this discard this 1. Oh, but then I would be in Furi 10 for this 4. I don't know. I'll just skip. Well, yeah, if I had kept the green dragon, we would have been in a situation where, like, I have 2 green dragons, and then the player on my right also has 2 green dragons, and then, like, I guess one of us would have had to discard their dragon to complete the triplet, because we don't know the other player has the other 2. But since you know the other 3 have already been accounted for, I know this is pretty safe to discard. Alright, so I guess this means I'm in Reachy now. I could the 7 completes the 6, 7, 8, and then let's see what I have. I have 1, 2, 3. I would complete. If I discard this 2, I would have a 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. These 2 are my pair. And then I would be waiting on a 4 to complete this 3, 4, 5. I guess I might as well. Like, it doesn't really matter if someone else wins round, because I'm so far ahead that it's unlikely for... Yeah. Alright, so I basically won, yay. Good game. Oh yeah, this game also has like daily quests you can do to get in-game currency. So I guess I just completed one of them. Oh, it redeems them automatically. I guess there's also an event going on. I don't know what this one's about. Is this the Saki event? I don't know what this is. Well, I don't feel like playing it, but that's something you could do if you want to play it. Oh, you keep going until players have completed hand? That's kind of weird. So it's just like... just not be last. It's an extremely meme event. Well, anyway, I don't know. I guess I'm done. Anyone have questions you can ask? I can answer them. Whether it's about mahjong or not, I could just talk and drink water. What's the difference between chi and pawn? Chi is when you complete a sequence, so like 1, 2, 3. Pawn is when you complete a triplet, so like 2, 2, 2. And for a chi, you can it has to be from the player on your left. Like the player that just played, you can do a chi based on what they discarded. Pawn can be called on any player. So like the player from your left or the in front of you or to your right. To con or not to con? I don't know. I rarely ever con. Unless, if you already have three, like if you drew all four tiles by yourself, I guess I would con. Depending on like, I guess depends on the hand. I don't know. Yeah, if you call con, you can reveal a new Dora and hopefully get more shiny tiles in your hand. I did get a Rinchan Kaiho once. It's the one where you, or either that or like the one where you win from a run after whatever. How do I view my the stuff that I've achieved? Look at how bad my bad ranking. Just absolutely destroyed. Oh, Yaku achieved. Yeah. I've never gone to Yakuman. Yeah. Playing ranked until I get my first Yakuman. Never. It's probably never gonna happen. I've gotten close to getting 13 orphans like 2 or 3 times. But I've always been denied. Alright, I guess that's it. I don't know. Last call for questions. Did they change the music, like this background music? It sounds different to me. Or maybe just because I've never heard it with headphones on. Oh, there's a play. Oh, yeah. There is a playlist system. There used to be just one song. Ah, there it is. Nice. Okay, I think I will end the stream now. Where to? I would suggest just going on Mahjong Soul. It's a free browser game. And then just doing what I did, just play against the AI. Yeah, hopefully my explanations made sense. Mahjong is really fun once you get used to it. stream sniping. I guess, but like I'd have to be playing ranked, and you'd have to be. It's not hard to get adept rank. I could also do like some friendly matches, like just go into a friendly match room and just you could join the. There's a code at the top of the screen you could join. Yeah. The thing is, like mahjong, like the matches can get kind of long depending on like if someone wins a lot of times in a row. Like there's times when I would just wish for a round to be over, like I'm winning by so much, or like someone is winning by so much, and then they just keep winning, and then we're all just like, please, just someone else please win so this can end. Yeah, that's it. Alright, see you guys.